Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to look at the Mafex Batman, the black and gray Crusader Batman. This is basically a black and gray version of the Nightfall Batman. This is some sort of exclusive. I was wondering how I was going to be able to get one, and the Big Bad Toy Store puts them up there. They sold out very quickly. So let's take a look at the packaging. As you can see at the top, DC. Batman by Mafex, Night Crusader Batman, black version. Here is the package, extra hands, head, batarang, rope, and more. One side of the package, Batman. Other side, Night Crusader Batman. This is the 270th figure in the Mafex action figure line. The back side, here's the figure, tons of different display options and accessories, interchangeable parts. And at the bottom, there's a barcode if it helps. So with no further ado, let's open them up. And of course, I did get two of these figures, one of which to open and enjoy, the other one to keep unopened in my complete Batman-related unopened action figure collection. Alright, now that we got this figure out of the package, here he is with all the accessories laid out. He comes with 10 alternate hands, totaling 12 interchangeable hands, 2 heads, and a batarang with a bendy wire bat rope. He also has this transparent display and flight stand. Before we deal with all that, let's talk about and check out this figure. So this is Batman from Nightfall. This is called the Night Crusader Batman, and this is the black and gray version. I think it's kind of based off the artwork of Jim Aparo, but, you know, take that how you want. Nightfall is one of my favorite Batman storylines. Although we looked in that, he has the same sort of outfit he wore in the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s. It was a little bit more classic and traditional back then. They made the blue and gray version, which is a fantastic figure, probably my favorite Mafex Batman figure. And that one had interchangeable heads and capes to give you a couple different looks. I'm very disappointed this guy does not have those things, but it's still a fairly cool variant. So let's take a closer look. So, start with his face. He has that white lens in the eyes, the semi-long ears, sort of gritty, angry looking sort of jawline, square. It looks good. You can see the ears through his mask a little bit, the yellow oval bat symbol, capsule utility belt. The body looks pretty good. All the different sort of muscle definition in the torso and the stomach area, double jointed elbows, double jointed knees, cloth sock goods cape with a bendy wire on either side for posing purposes. Love the fins. It all just screams traditional comic Batman. And a closer look at his face and head sculpt. It looks good. He looks angry. He looks like Batman. Who would have thought? A Batman figure looks like Batman. But no, the head sculpt I think looks great. I love the ears. I love the eyes. The expression of the brow. The mouth expression. All of it. And then here are the things I don't like about this guy. These butterfly joints, although useful, they don't look good at all. I mean, they're going to give you a wider range of motion with the articulation, the shoulders, but it just looks ugly. Very noticeable on the sides there. And then he has a sort of big gap under the sort of cowl area and his sort of shoulders. It looks bad up there as well. The previous version had interchangeable different pieces here. One had the sort of points at the top. I don't know, it's just, it's not low enough, and you really can't push it any lower. So, two complaints there. Doesn't ruin the figure by any means, but definitely things that I think make it look bad and should have been done better. And then here's the figure, broken down as far as he can go, with all of his removable parts detached. Now let's check out his accessories, starting off with the display stand. So here's the display stand. The main part comes in 3 separate pieces. When put together, it looks like this. We have the base there, and you have 3 different options where to put the post. Then, of course, we have this post here. At the bottom, it can rotate. It's hinged at the bottom, hinge in the middle, hinge near the top. It can rotate near the top, and then it has this clamp to hold your figure in place. Now let's look at his hands. He has a total of 12 hands. 6 left hands and 6 right hands. Here he is with his first pair of hands. These are his fists. And his second pair of hands. These are also a pair of fists, but they have a little slit in them. That way you can sort of hold the cape and pose it in different ways, like he's sort of draping it over him. You know, kind of like that. And his third pair of hands. These are a pair of gripping hands. Should be able to hold that batarang. And his fourth pair of hands. These are a pair of flat, outstretched hands. They look like they could be some flying hands for Superman, but of course, Batman doesn't get down like that. And his fifth pair of hands, these are a pair of default hands. They would look good relaxed at his sides. And here's where they messed up on mine. He should have a pair of grabbing hands. Mine only came with a left grabbing hand, and then an additional right default hand. So, it's not like that big of a deal, because I'm not going to use those hands very often, but if I want Batman to have the two grabbing hands, grabbing or choking somebody, I'm fucked. A closer look at both sets of hands. In front, you can see the two default hands. In the back, we have a left grabbing hand and a right default hand. And it's not like I can just email Big Bad Toy Store and ask for a replacement, because there are no more. Now let's look at his heads. He has two of them. One with a normal angry expression, and one with an even angrier expression. Here's Batman with his first head. This one has the normal, angry expression. And then his second head. This one has the even angrier expression. Clenched teeth and everything. And here's his final accessory. This is a batarang, and it has a bendy wire attached. As you can see, you can sort of extend it, have it take all kind of different poses. And this wire is really, really long. Here's like a Batman holding that batarang with attached bat rope. And the fact that it's a bendy wire gives you so many different possibilities. You can have him sort of grappling off the side of a building, climbing down, tying up villains. Endless possibilities. Now I wanted to talk about his cape. It's quite nice. It's made of a cloth soft goods material. It's got a bendy wire on either side. It can stretch out very, very far, and it looks fantastic. It's got a bendy wire both sides, and another one here, and another one here, so it looks like 4 of them. And of course, give you different sort of posing options here. One thing I like to do with capes that are cloth soft goods with a wire in it is make them look like they're flowing in the wind. An easy way to do that is just simply take your finger, wrap the wire up, and then back down, and then maybe back up one more time. Kind of have his cape flowing in the wind a little bit. Tuck the other side in, and bam, an easy, quick, makeshift Batman with his cape flowing in the wind. I could spend a little more time looking at making it look better, but it looks pretty damn good the way it is. You can smooth it out. Now to check out the reuse differences and similarities between the black and gray Night Crusader Batman and the blue and gray version. And they are 100% the same figure, same sculpt, same articulation, so let's take a closer look. Love both of these color schemes. Darker gray, black, gray, blue. They both have wide eyes and lenses, the same ears, the same sort of frowning expression. Bat symbol looks a little bit different. This one is outlined in black, this one is not. Belt, a little bit brighter yellow, a little bit kind of more Keaton-esque. The gray looks a little better on this guy. It looks like it has a little bit of a wash, maybe a little bit of shading going on. Maybe not though, it might just be sort of the shadows from the different sculpts. The abs look great. Looks a little bit shinier, glossier on this guy. And then, of course, the capes. Different, both cloth soft goods. Both excellent, excellent Batman figures. And now that we've taken a pretty good look at both the figure and his accessories, let's check out his height. From bottom to the top of his head, standing about 6.3 inches tall, which could translate to around 16 centimeters. If you go to the top of the ears, about 6.5 inches tall. And for his articulation, starting with his head, of course, he can rotate side to side. He can look up, not much, a little bit, but not too much, down quite a bit more. He can tilt his head from one side to the other. Shoulders on a ball joint goes up a little bit more than 90 degrees. Up, down, around, all that good stuff. He's got this butterfly joint, increasing the range of motion, but it's very noticeable and it's kind of ugly. Bicep cut below that. Double jointed elbows. His wrist can rotate and it's hinged as well. Ball joint in his torso. Rotate around. Forward and back. Another one his waist. Rotate around. Forward and back. Between the two, very good range of motion in the torso. Legs. Almost complete as splits. Ball joints inside of there. drop down hips, kind of ugly like this, but just pop them right back up. They can rotate at the hip, double jointed knees, and then his ankle. Forward and back, a little bit of rotation, even a littler bit of tilt and rock, and then toe articulation. Here's a look at this Batman on a rooftop of Gotham, overlooking, protecting his city. And a closer look at Batman, focused, cape flowing in the wind. Here's a look at both the Neil Adams version of Batman and the Kelly Jones version of Batman, both of which were present during the Nightfall era, in front of 3 trade paperbacks of Nightfall. Nightfall, the 90s, one of my favorite Batman stories. Here's a look at Bane and his henchmen, Zombie, Trog, and Bird in their lair. And now, onto the Batcave setup. Batman comes home after a night of crime fighting and feels like something isn't right. Batman finds his trusty butler Alfred unconscious on the floor. Bane comes around to the corner, pointing at Batman and says, "I'm here for you, Dark Knight." Batman gets up, getting ready to face off with Bane, but he's fighting exhaustion. He's fighting months of fighting the different supervillains that Bane led off Arkham Asylum. Bane has been watching, learning Batman's tactics. Everything's been leading up to this moment where he can defeat the Bat. Bane presses the Venom button on his forearm. It's about to get nuts. Right before his very eyes, Batman watches Bane get bigger and bigger. He's juiced up off the Venom and ready to break the Bat. Bane immediately knocks Batman to the ground. It doesn't take Bane long to get the upper hand. Bane is just pummeling him. Batman may get a good lick or two off, but it's not even slowing Bane down, not phasing him one bit. Bane is choking Batman and throws him right into the Jason Todd Memorial. In this moment, Batman has essentially been defeated, but Bane is not through. And then we all know what happens next. Bane lifts up one knee, picks up Batman, and then breaks the Bat. Months later, Jean-Paul Valley has become Azrael and replaced Batman. He's alienating all of his allies and those around him. Although, he does become tough enough to defeat Bane. Now let's check them out. Next is some other action figures, starting off with some other Nightfall Batman figures. Here's the black and gray Night Crusader Nightfall Batman, next to the blue and gray version. Both fantastic figures. And which one do I prefer? Well, as far as being specifically a Nightfall Batman, I prefer the blue and gray version because that is what he wore during Nightfall. But I think I like the black and gray as a Batman figure a little bit more overall. Just looks a little more darker, serious, realistic, etc. They both look excellent, though. And I ended up getting 2 of the blue and gray Nightfall Batman figures. Well, actually 3 of them, because I still have one in the package. One of which to be the sort of Jim Aparo artwork, and one to be the Kelly Jones style artwork. It has interchangeable different cape, sort of cowl shoulder pieces, and heads. I was very disappointed this black and gray version didn't come with those extra pieces. I just assumed that he would. Here he is, next to Mattel's DC Universe Classics Nightfall Battle Damage Batman. Then, next to the DC Direct version of the Nightfall Batman. And now, with McFarlane's DC Multiverse Nightfall Batman figures. And just like Mafex, McFarlane made blue and gray, and a black and gray version of the Nightfall Batman. Here's the entire Mafex Knightfall collection. Azrael, Batman, and Bane. The upcoming Robin, Tim Drake, is from Hush, but he would work great with the Nightfall collection. Now I would welcome any and everything Mafex would give us from Nightfall. I love Nightfall. I love the way all the villains looked, normal yet modern. Hopefully they'll give us more and more and more from Nightfall, kind of like they're doing with Hush. Here's the Mafex Knightfall Batman next to the Mafex Hush Batman. These guys share the same legs and the same biceps, but the rest appears to be different. And just like the Mafex Knightfall Batman, they made both the black and gray and blue and gray versions. And here, next to a Batman The Dark Knight Returns Batman figure, these are both based off fantastic Batman comics. And of course, just like the others, they made the Nightfall and Dark Knight Returns Batman in both the black and gray and blue and gray color schemes. And next, with 4 different Mafex Batman figures. These are from live action and animated shows. Here's this Batman with a few different Mafex Batman allies from the comics. Nightwing, Huntress, and Catwoman. These are from Batman Hush, but they look fantastic with this black and gray Batman. And here, with several different Mafex Batman villains. These are all from the comics, from Batman Hush, but also look fantastic with this Batman figure. Here's this Mafex Knightfall Batman, next to a couple of recent excellent Batman releases by LPZZ and InArt. I can see he kind of scales up between the two figures. A lot of different options in the quote-unquote 6-inch or 1/12 scale. Now let's check him out. Next to some action figures from different various companies, so we can see how he fits in both scale and style-wise, in case you want to know which lines you can mix him with. Since he's a Mafex figure, they are the 6-inch scale. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of these smaller action figure lines that I collect, and then work my way larger, and I'm going to include as many Batman figures as I can during these comparisons. Since we already checked him out, next to a bunch of other Mafex Batman figures, here he is, next to some more Mafex figures. In front of you are 5 different action figures, all from Mafex, all 6-inch scale. And now, with some Jazzwares Fortnite figures and SH Figure Arts Batman figures, here's Batman next to a honey bun, and here he is with some Hasbro Marvel Legends and Mattel Batman figures, then with both some Jazzwares and Mattel wrestling figures, and now with some Mezco and NECA Batman figures, next with some DC Direct and Diamond Select toys, and finally with some McFarlane and Jakks Pacific wrestling figures. So overall, this is an absolutely fantastic Batman figure. My biggest issues would be the butterfly joints. Even though they're effective, I don't think they look all that great. And then there's kind of a gap between the plastic part of the top of his cape and his shoulders. Beyond that, he's damn near perfect. I also really wish that he came with the extra interchangeable pieces that the blue and gray version came with. He doesn't have the rebreather, batarangs, different head, cape, and I find that very, very disappointing. I'd have loved to have had this guy in both looks. His accessories are good. Sculpt and paint job are excellent. Articulation is excellent. If I were to rate this guy, I'll give him a very solid 8.5 out of 10. Teeter on the edge of a 9, but some of the things he doesn't come with, and a couple of minor visual issues are going to keep him at an 8.5. This is probably my favorite Mafex Batman figure, so I probably should rate him a little higher, but there are a couple things holding him back. So this is D Hunter. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.